Support for this podcast comes from the law firm of Davis Malm. Whether you're a developer, property owner, manager, or commercial tenant, their real estate attorneys know the lay of the land, not just the law. Learn more at davismalm.com.
WBUR Podcasts, Boston.
I'm Daryl C. Murphy, and you're listening to The Common. Gladys Vega, president of La Colaborativa. Thank you so much for coming through to The Common.
Hi, Daryl. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Yes, indeed. So, Gladys, we at The Common have talked a few times about how the state has been dealing with the demand on the state family shelter system. But I want to give a quick recap for folks who may not be familiar. Last year, the governor announced a state of emergency in the state shelter system because of an influx of people, many of whom are newly arrived migrants. The state set a cap at 7,500 families. Families beyond that number were to be waitlisted. Since then, the state has been offering space in overflow shelters to those on that list, but those shelters are not all open during the day. And that brings us to you, Gladys, because La Colaborativa opened a service center in Chelsea last month to take in up to 200 people during the day from an overflow shelter in Cambridge. Now, La Colaborativa is an organization based in Chelsea that offers a number of services and support to immigrants. So it seems like a center like this is right in your wheelhouse. And you've been open for more than 2 weeks now. Start us off by letting us know how it's been over that time.
So I just have to say that in terms of the 2.5 weeks that we've been doing the day service shelter at La Colaborativa, in order to respond to the Cambridge overflow shelter, it has been like an incredible amount of work, but also an incredible amount of opportunities. And what I mean by that is that immediately as soon as they came in, we assessed their family situation, their family composition. We didn't know a lot of who we were going to be having in our day service center. So we needed to learn for the first 2 days about what the families were like, what were their needs, if they have been vaccinated, if they have medical needs. And immediately we had nurses come from MGB. We have a medical station right in our office where the 2 nurses come in. And immediately, if someone is not feeling well or if someone has never seen a nurse before, they have access to that nurse while they're there.
Okay, so you got a lot of people coming in. You're offering a lot of services. I'm curious to know about the people who are coming. Tell me about some of the folks who are coming to the service center.
So the families that are coming to the service center, it may be a single dad with 3 children. It may be a lot of couples, married couples. We have approximately 56 children, 5 and up. Those are enrolled in the school system. And then 5 and less are infants or toddlers, and they come to the day service center at La Colaborativa. We have activities for them. We evaluated what their needs are. And based on those needs, we had already projected what we wanted to do with them in terms of providing other type of resources.
And yeah, into the resources here, you know, the state shelter system situation right now, that seems to be a result of the state's housing crisis, right? There's just not enough housing or affordable housing for people. But you're offering other services that speak to other issues coming out of this. I mean, you're talking about immunization, education, medical care. Can you talk about some of that, please?
Sure. So, for example, in the first 2 days, as soon as we finished the assessment, we identified the people wanting to learn English, that other people had work authorizations. So we immediately brought in our team from La Colaborativa. They do rapid reemployment. So they basically interview the individual, create a resume if they don't have one. And chances are none of them have a resume. So create a resume. And then for those people that have work authorization, the idea is to this week begin to connect them with employers that are able to hire them because they do have a permission to work in the United States. And I tell you that the vast majority of the families that you speak to, They want immediately to work. They want to be able to have their apartment. And then, of course, the others that are not yet with work authorization, we are assessing their immigration needs to figure out what they submitted the proper applications. And then in the meantime, so that we don't waste no time, we run workshops, at least 3 workshops during the day. It's amazing to see it. We have a professor from Harvard University that has been coming volunteering herself to provide basic ESL classes. On that group, we probably have like 25 individuals. And then she does it. We do it twice a day. But also it could be that they may need, counseling, mental health counseling. So connecting them to those individuals that provide those specific services.
Gladys, I want to take a quick break here. But when we get back, I want to know more about the mental health services, because that's an aspect of this I would love to talk about. So we'll be right back.
Did you kill Marlene Johnson?
I think you're one of the first people to have actually asked.
From WBUR and ZSP Media, this is Beyond All Repair, a new podcast about an unsolved murder that will leave you questioning everything.
Somebody should be in jail for murdering my sister.
A woman who's never been believed.
As long as they think I have done this, then they're not looking for who actually did this.
And that's what makes it a cold case.
No, it's a botched case.
And a search for the truth, once and for all.
Wow, it just gets more interesting.
Beyond All Repair. Listen and follow wherever you get your podcasts.
Be careful. You're digging in a place that's been very peaceful for a while.
Do it anyway. Dig.
And we're back with President of La Colaborativa, Gladys Vega. Gladys, you mentioned a lot of services. Talk to us about the mental health aspect of all of this.
What we have noticed is, and what we assumed was that people were many of these families, because of their journey migrating United States and being in different locations, etc., that they will have mental health issues. But in Latinx or Caribbean communities, you don't talk about mental health. Like that's a taboo. You deal with it at home. You don't talk about it. So what we've been able to do with Detective Medina, a Latina from the Chelsea Police Department, is that she comes every day and we do sessions or workshops or charlas, what we call, small talks with females or males in the group. We notice when people begin to be sort of like more quiet, or they don't respond, or they get a little bit emotional. So we are able to identify that. And then I explain to them that there's, mental health counseling, that we can able to identify counselors to provide that support system. They're not gonna judge. They're just gonna listen to you and provide some type of support. So you're not the only one dealing with this. It's at times it's good to take it out of your chest, because you can tell that they're having a real hard time. The vast majority of the families that we serve are Haitians. Depending on the organization or depending the time that you take to understand where they're coming, where they were at, etc., they are able to open up. And once they open up, we're able to provide whatever resource they need. And once you provide those resources, they're present, they're engaged, they're trying to make it, they're trying to work. They want to be able to get off the system. I haven't heard from the 150 people that I see every day, majority of Haitians and approximately 30 Latinos from Venezuela and Colombia. None of them have said that they want to stay in the system, that they're eager to work, that they're eager to learn English, that they're eager to be in their own space.
Understood. Now, Gladys, how are you and your staff? How are you guys doing with everything? Are you okay? Are you feeling overwhelmed? tell us, how's it going?
Sincerely, I think that so I believe in God. So I think God doesn't give you anything that we're not able to handle. And I think with love, compassion, and respect, we do our work with so much dignity and so much respect for the people that we serve, regardless where they come and how long they've been here or not. So, for example, the restaurant that we identify, we told Carlos from Tu Casa Restaurant, if we hire you to provide lunch and breakfast for these individuals and snack, I need you to hire a woman from Haiti or cook from Haiti. So we identified one of the families from Envision Hotel, a shelter that we ran for a couple of months in Everett. And then she came, got the interview, and she's the cook for this project. She is the cook. And for me, that is so important because we're given services with love, with dignity, with respect, but also with the hope that we can get them off the system immediately. We want to make sure that these individuals are able to demonstrate that they didn't come here to abuse the system. They came here because they were being abused back in their country, that the violent setting that they had in the country, they never asked for that. And they wanted what you and I, Daryl, and so many people in the Commonwealth wants, a family that we can raise without issues, a nonviolent setting for our families and for all those children that we have. If you had the situation that they're faced in Haiti, you would have done the same. I would have done the same. I would have, climbed mountains in order for me to provide to my daughter, Melinda and Jerry, if that was me who was in that situation back in Haiti or Venezuela and Colombia.
If folks want to help out La Colaborativa, how can they do that?
So if anyone wants to help volunteering, teaching a trade or whatever, we love to have them call La Colaborativa at 617-889-6080. If they want to host a family, if people want to help, they can reach out to La Colaborativa at 617-889-6080, or they can go to our website at www.lacolaborativa.org. And once again, we're trying to do what is best, not forgetting that we are also providing the same array of services to our long-term citizens of the United States, to our long-term residents, because we're not diminishing the work that we need to do with regular members of La Colaborativa or regular members of Chelsea that are also having job loss. We continue to do the same work. We didn't want our residents to be impacted by us providing a day service center to an overflow shelter. We were very careful when we did our planning that our longstanding residents of Chelsea and surrounding communities, they're not impacted at all. And that is why we were so careful in our planning and in hiring people that way we kept the survival center for the long-term residents and then the regular day service center for those newcomers that we need to help.
Understood. Gladys, thank you so much for your work and taking the time to come talk to us about it here on The Common. We really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
That's President of La Colaborativa, Gladys Vega. And that's our show for today. Thank you so much for listening to The Common. If you want to get in touch with us, hit us up on Instagram at WBUR The Common or send us an email at thecommon@wbur.org. I'm Daryl C. Murphy, and I will talk to you tomorrow.